And now, Killcliff, the clean energy drink, presents Because We Can, starring John Brinkus. It's the show where we do whatever the hell we want because we can. Tonight, another amazing show. And now, here's your host, John Brinkus.
Alrighty, at ease. I want everybody to just be at ease, relax. Please sit down. Thank you. It's another Friday, means we're going to do another episode of Because We Can, and we titled the episode Because We Can, simply because we can do whatever we want. It's just our show. It's the Killcliff show. We just want to do whatever we want. So first and foremost, I want to bring in G-Dub. G-Dub, who is the co-creator of the Castle Master and co-creator of Killcliff. How are you?
What's up? This never gets old. Happy to be here again this week. I think we've got definitely an interesting panel for today, for sure.
Now, that's right. Now, when we talked about what show we were going to do, last week we had Jesse Hughes virtually naked on the streets of LA. He was doing man on the street stuff. We had Mr. Cuddles on, who was giving commentary about taking over the world. Ryan Bader was supposed to show up in his unitard, and he completely, like he said, he lost track of time. But
I think he was having trouble getting into the tard. It took a little longer than normal. Maybe he had a little quarantine weight on, and it was not as stretchy as it used to be.
That's right. That's right. So Ryan didn't show up at his unitard, but we're hoping that he's going to join us today. But what we wanted to do is announce an incredible partnership that Killcliff has forged, and we wanted to dedicate the show today to be a very MMA-focused show. G-Dub, tell us all about the partnership with Sanford, and let's go around the horn and introduce who we have on the show.
Yeah, sure. So Killcliff could not be happier to have partnered with Sanford MMA. Sanford MMA is one of the biggest MMA teams in the world, and they're actually up for best fight gym of the year. I think they're one of 5 gyms up for the award from the World MMA Awards. Huge roster of UFC, Bellator, ONE fighters, all top notch. An amazing brand new facility down in South Florida. Today, we're lucky enough to have a bunch of guys that train with Sanford on today. Obviously, Robbie Lawler needs no introduction. But
Hold on, wait. If you're going to introduce Robbie Lawler, you got to introduce Robbie Lawler.
Where's Wes?
Wes
Where's
is
my guy?
He's tardy. He's unitardy today.
Right on. Well, like I said, going to introduce Robbie Lawler. He is, I think, a big part of the team, maybe even possibly an owner of the team, and obviously probably one of their team captains, one of the UFC legends. Probably had some of the best UFC fights in history. Will go down, and he's currently still, fighting in the welterweight division in the UFC. So, without further ado, Mr. Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler, where's Robbie Lawler? Everybody clap for Robbie Lawler. I'm clapping for him.
I'm right here.
There he is. Let's see him. Herbert, get him up on the screen. Let's show.
Right on.
Oh, there's Robbie Lawler. There he is. How
Robbie,
are you?
who did you bring with you from the Sanford team today?
What's up?
I said, who else did you bring with you from the Sanford team? You introduce these guys?
Chaz Skelly's here, maintenance guy at our gym, and Logan Storley, welterweight fighter for Bellator, one of my good training partners, good friends. So got some good guys out there on our team, so happy to have those two here.
Herbert, let's get them all up on the screen. Let's not pretend to make some big announcement here. Because there we go. We got everybody. Look at it. We're one big happy family here. Look at that.
Chaz, what's it like getting to empty all the waste bins down there and handing out towels in the locker room down at Sanford? It sounds like a pretty tough job.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Sometimes I'll give Robbie his fan mail, and when he signs the stuff, I'll just take it home with me. Actually got a poster of him above our bed. My Stephanie doesn't like it, but I love it.
It's
Well,
not creepy.
all right. Do you so listen, do you deal at all with any of the gear that Sanford has laying around the gym?
Yeah, I mean, anything that comes in and anything that comes in from like the sponsors to hand out to the guys, I take
Right.
inventory of it and keep it
Okay.
stored away for
All right.
myself.
Well, that's good. So, Robbie, why don't you tell me about the high-tech facility of Sanford? It's honestly, obviously, it's such an incredible institution. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about it?
Really good facility, state-of-the-art gym, whole workout facility, weights, Kaiser machines, ellipticals, we have a lounge, we have few offices, we have a doctor's office in there, orthopedic surgeons in there to check over the fighters at least once a month, to set up appointments to make sure everyone's ready to go. It's just a really good facility for guys to get ready and start beating people up.
That's awesome.
Good
So,
deal.
Robbie, listen, you're an MMA legend. I mean, anybody who's followed the game at all for any period of time knows exactly who you are. But a lot of people may or may not know about Sanford and why this is such a big deal. Talk to me about the relationship between Killcliff and Sanford.
It's just an awesome relationship. We have a world, a big organization, big hospital in the Midwest, sponsoring our gym, bringing a doctor's office, and just a better atmosphere. Guys we're true professionals. You see it in football, you see it in basketball, you see it in these other sports where these guys have these awesome facilities, doctors on call, guys looking over them. And that's kind of what we wanted to bring to the MMA arena and our team, and do what's best for the fighters. And hopefully this builds and other gyms can start doing the same thing so we can take this sport where it needs to go.
That's awesome. So, Logan, I wanted you to talk to me about the relationship that we just now have forged between Killcliff and Sanford, and how special it is, obviously to have a clean energy drink in your gym among, all the, incredible trainers that you have and training partners that you have. Pump up Sanford for me from your perspective.
Yeah, I was a former Division I wrestler at University of Minnesota, and so at the Division I level, you're used to having all the people on staff, state-of-the-art facilities. And then when I first got into MMA, I was thinking I was going to get the same, and I didn't have that. So now with this new state-of-the-art facility and trainers and coaches and recovery tools, just things that are kind of basic in most sports, it's pretty awesome to have that now and to be able to train like a true professional, because we are professionals at what we do. And so now we have all the resources behind us, and it just makes our job a little easier. Not having to run around to different places to get to, recovery and everything else. So it's all under one roof. And that's what, Division I colleges have and other professional sports have. And now we have that at Sanford MMA, and, I'm very happy and I'm excited to see the future and where it goes.
All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are very pleased to be joined, just dropping in the show, by the one, the only Ryan Bader. Is that pretty good?
That wasn't bad.
That was good, buddy. That was good.
That was pretty good.
What's going on?
Listen, first of all, thanks so much for coming on the show this week. But what happened last week? Last week was Unitard week. You were all Unitarded up. You were ready to go, but you didn't make it to the show. Were you just walking around in your card?
Hold on. Let me get back.
You're getting feedback?
No, let me get you back right here. I lost you.
All right.
There we go. Yeah, no, you guys did a short show. I was ready.
I don't know.
10 minutes
I don't
left.
know.
I had my whole thing. I had the wig on and everything.
It was amazing. I should have sent that pic over so you could have posted it up, John.
Yeah,
He was
send me the
legit ready to
pic right
go.
now. Send me the pic, because I was a little disappointed. I thought Ryan was going to post. There you
Hey,
go.
it's okay. Just on vacation with my family, but made it back to get in my singlet. You guys cut it short.
We will bring Unitard back.
Do it again one time.
That's right. That's right.
It's just streamlining.
Just make it your
the show.
background. Make it your background. It'll be fine.
I will. I'm going to make it. I am going to make it my background. Listen, hold on one second. All I got to do is send it to myself. And
Hold on.
here, I'm going to make it my background. Ryan, I want you to talk about, though, I want to talk about how important the unitard is to the clothing universe, because it's without unitards, I don't know where you would be today.
Yeah, Logan and I pretty much grew up in one. We were wrestling since we were little kids and had it on every weekend, all that kind of stuff. And we got made fun of it, made fun of quite a bit in our, what they call it, unitards, like you're calling it right now. It's a singlet, But I used to pull it down. You used to snap your headgear to it. And you thought you were pretty cool as a kid. And then as you got more of an adult and you're in college, you're like, why don't we just wrestle in shorts or something like that, a T-shirt, And I think they tried that, actually. It never took off and went back to the singlets.
Right.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Why
There it
I feel
is.
like saying kick his ass, Seabass. I don't know why. It's just what's coming to mind.
He's awesome. I think it looks pretty good. This is, by the way, this is going to be up on my screen the entire time. It's the way it goes.
like it.
So listen, I wanted to play you guys. There was I know you guys work out a lot, but there's actually a piece of workout gear that I don't know if Sanford has it or not, but let's see if you do have it. Let's see.
It's a state-of-the-art facility, so the odds are they definitely have it.
Keep your feet shoulder width apart, knees bent, shoulders back, chest out, and keep the core nice and tight the whole workout. With one hand on top of the other and elbows in, we are going to shake for 60 seconds.
Go to the.
This might be Chaz's favorite exercise.
I actually got one
So-
in my nightstand.
What are you working out right there in this position specifically? Chest, forearms, triceps,
That
shoulders.
looks like Logan.
Yeah.
Show all four. Hey, Herbert, show all the four guys with this. Okay. There you go.
Just as the unitard is one of the least well-known pieces of apparel in the gym, the Chug Toner and the Shake Weight are two of the unheralded pieces of gym equipment.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, look at how ripped this guy got just from using the shake weight. I mean,
For like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Couple
can
protein
throw
shakes
down.
and a shake weight, and you could look like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably pretty fair advertising, right? It's probably the way that really work.
Logan actually
Um,
bars out at the gym. He asked if they had higher resistance levels.
Do you have a bigger shake weight? Because this one's just kind of small.
Exactly.
I don't get a
Hilarious.
deep burn anymore.
So
I don't get
Ryan,
the-
tell me about the status of everything. It's a crazy world right now. There was some big fights that were coming up this weekend, and COVID got in the way, and fire test positive, and it's just nuts. Talk about what's the mood around the gym, mood around the MMA world.
Yeah, Arizona's kind of a big hotspot right now. I think we're the number one, and so we kind of closed the gym down to everybody but the people that are directly training with me, and then we got everybody tested last week, and that's why I was late on the call. We just went and sparred. Our gym here has no air conditioning, just swamp coolers, and it was 114 today, so that was fun. But we are waiting. I believe I'm fighting August 14th, and they have told me pretty much an opponent. Then today they're like, well, maybe it's 205. The other one was at heavyweight. So this whole thing has kind of put everything up in the air. And for us, Logan's in the same position right now. We're just kind of training, doing our job, and waiting to be told exactly who and when, sign a bout agreement. And then you got to worry about, all right, if I show up, I'll test myself every week, but if I show up, and my opponent or my opponent's, corners test positive, do I lose out on this fight? Will I not fight again for another 4 months? What happens if thing comes back in fall? So there's a lot of variables right now.
What's crazy to me is, first of all, if I was an MMA fighter, which clearly I'm not, I absolutely would. I've moved up 2 weight classes since March. It's just been the COVID-19. I am every day, I'm just a little bit fatter today. I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm just gaining weight and ballooning up. But how are you guys staying motivated, staying in shape, having all of this uncertainty that's out there?
Go ahead, Chaz.
I'm the wrong person to ask this question to. I've actually gained, I think, 4 weight classes. So
need to hit that shake weight a little harder.
I've been hitting the shake weight every day. Doesn't help me when I got a fucking beer in the other hand.
As soon as this quarantine went down, I actually started ordering a whole bunch of workout equipment. So I turned my garage into a workout facility. So even if gyms closed down, I'm ready to go. And I have a pretty big yard, so I'm just trying to stay busy when I'm not at the gym.
That's crazy.
They're shuffling the deck on these fights and just almost pulling out of a hat. They're like, okay, let's put this fight together on this date. Normally you have, 3-4 month notice, right? With a full fight camp, which is anywhere from 6 weeks to 3 months. How does this kind of affect you if they're like, okay, now you're fighting in 3 weeks, or 2 weeks, or 4 weeks? It's almost impossible to just stay in tip top fight shape all the time, or is it? I don't know.
You just kind of try to stay steady, and then right there at the end of training, you try to pick it up to make sure you're peaking at the right time. Because if you go hard for 7 weeks, you're going to plateau, maybe even go down. So it's get a good base, and then hopefully the last 2 weeks you have enough time to kick it into gear and get ready.
That's what I find to be interesting is, a lot of things have shut down, a lot of, craziness is going on. And I mean, you guys in the world of MMA, you guys are traveling all the time. You're traveling around all the time. Prior to March, I mean, I was on a plane at least twice a week, at least, and that 2 different trips. So that was 4 planes. It just seems like I've only been on a plane twice since March and traveling very, very little. But it seems like this, hey, you tested positive and now everything has changed. The science and the data is so crazy of the number of cases is really high, but the mortality rate is super low, and everyone seems to be reacting one way. Either people are kind of falling in the camp of myself, where I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, every time that the number of cases goes up, it means the mortality rate is going down. But then there are other people who are just scared out of their minds. They're just they're completely paralyzed. What's going on in the MMA world? What is everybody sort of thinking?
I think everyone's trying not to get COVID so they don't test positive. If they have a fight coming up, they want to make sure they get there, test negative, and get their fight and make some money like everyone else. The difference between MMA and sports in general is to go into work, you actually have to get tested. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are going into work, maybe have it, maybe don't, but they're not getting tested. So for us to make money, we actually need to test negative and jump through a few hoops.
Yeah. Ryan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, exactly what Robbie said there as far as, if we get it, more than likely we're not even going to know. We won't even have a sniffle or a cough, and it's different for some people. And so he's exactly right. I just have to be careful when I show up that I don't test positive then. As far as overall, I think the mainstream media is definitely making it crazier and making it a crazy world right now for everybody and freaking everybody out. And yes, there are people that are susceptible, just like they're susceptible to anything else out there, Right. And I do feel for the people that have contracted it and have passed away or are real sick. But I think everybody's kind of freaking out right now.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that I really respect is I was doing a bunch of media And when this whole thing was breaking, I'm like, first of all, the math doesn't add up to me. Second of all, remember it was the Ivy League basketball was the first group to say, okay, we're done. And after that, it was March Madness and then the NBA and everything else fell into place. And you all remember Dana White he very reluctantly was like, okay, I'll put this on hold. And I was saying, look, just like anything else, someone's got to have the courage to take this first step forward. And what I really respect is that Dana's like, we're fighting. We're continuing to move on. The fact that we have this COVID testing going on and there's a much higher bar that you guys now have to clear is certainly inconvenient, but at least we have something to watch that's real. At least, Dana's in a tough spot, right? Because he can't be cavalier about it. And he's got to be, take it as serious as everyone's making it out to make sure everyone is totally safe. So I really respect that despite, how much of an inconvenience it is.
It seems also, as far as what I can tell and from the press, that everybody that's a fighter that's tested positive has had almost no symptoms, has felt completely okay. Are there any fighters that have tested positive that this thing is actually taken down and put in the hospital, or is pretty much all the fighters that have tested positive so far been asymptomatic or just okay?
Not that I know of from Arizona. We had there's an outbreak at a gym that, we don't train at, or nobody that goes in our gym trains at. But there was about 7 guys or so, and nobody really knew they had it. Maybe they felt tired, but, who doesn't some days, So there was nothing where like, oh, I was coughing and, I lost my sense of smell or anything like that. So that's what's kind of scary as far as going to a fight. You might be training with somebody and, he was exposed to it outside of the gym, and then you don't even know, and you roll up through a whole training camp. I was supposed to have a fight in May. I've been in training camp since February, and I roll up in August, and all of a sudden they're like, hey, I can feel the best I've ever felt in my life, but I test positive. So that's what, like Robbie was saying, that's all our mindset right now is, how do I minimize that? And it's all right. For me, it is testing weekly and cutting down on those people around me, right, and making sure they're not constantly putting themselves out there, like going to bars or anything like that, or being in a group gathering and then coming back and then I catch it. And then that just happens to be 2 weeks later when I'm at my fight.
I want to know what's going to end up happening when, you test positive for COVID, you're not sick at all. You've got to quarantine for 2 weeks or whatever. What happens when you get hepatitis and they're like, oh, no, you can go in. You got hepatitis. That's okay. like we have no restrictions on anything else, and there are things far like crazier, and it's totally possible. What happens if you get the flu? Like pre-COVID, it wasn't in general just like kind of common sense, if you're sick, I'm not going to spar with you today. I don't want to get the flu. Like if you were yakking your brains out last night, I don't want to be rolling around with you. Like I got a job to do. So that's the big difference. Obviously you guys, you're actually, making contact with human beings. So if someone's sick, you don't want to be rolling around with them at all. But people that are COVID positive that are asymptomatic, it's kind of, I don't know. It really makes me just say, I don't know where this ends. If we're shutting things down from people who are testing positive or things that they don't have symptoms for, what happens when you have symptoms for something else? Like, are there all new policies forever now put in place? I don't know.
I believe it was golf. They had a couple guys test positive, and then they went through the 2-week deal or whatever, and then they kept testing positive, but they were going off the CDC guidelines of when with their last symptoms or their fever, which they're like, I really had none. And so they grouped them together and had them play in there together after they were, even though they're still positive, they were
right.
They were cancer, so maybe we do like a COVID fight night.
COVID positive fight card.
Yeah.
Well, it's you guys are a little you're probably a little too young to remember chicken pox parties, but I went to they would have chicken pox parties where put all the kids, a kid's got it. It's it's not deadly for kids, but it is deadly for adults. So put them all in a house in a room and let them get it. Like that was That's a real thing. People used to do that. Obviously, in retrospect, you're like, I don't know how bright that was, but we don't have chickenpox really anymore. It's like you're either immune, you've either gotten the vaccine, or you've either had it. So it's interesting. Logan, I want to hear your thoughts on sort of the state of everything. Look, as crazy as the world is right now, at least we have fights going on, which I think is a massive positive. So I think the sport. People are coming to the sport who maybe previously weren't part of the sport and weren't fans, because now they have access to it and there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah, I think MMA has obviously taken a huge leap in the last couple of years compared to what people used to look at it like. And with the ESPN deal, UFC has, they're seeing more eyes, more commercials. Bellator is with Paramount Pictures, which me and Ryan fight on. And so people are getting to see more eyes during this whole COVID experience, being at home. They're kind of maybe looking more into the guys with their social media and figuring out that fighters are regular humans too. It's not what they used to look at fighters, that they're just two guys out there brawling, that a lot more goes into a camp, and there's a lot of skill and a lot of hours and years spent to get to this point where most fighters are today. And so, it's been good for MMA to grab these fans when there's nothing else to watch right now. And, I hope, these cards continue to roll out, and that we continue to, that Bellator is going to get going here soon, and the UFC continues to roll on. Because right now I'm scared with, I saw Ivy League pulled out of all sports.
It started with them last time.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's scary.
What they pull out of?
They're not having any fall sports.
Yeah, no
fall
football,
sports.
Ivy League football, which isn't a huge blow, but it could be a sign of I can't see the Big Ten and the SEC doing that. I just cannot.
The Big Ten announced now is that they're only going to do in conference. So there's going to be no out of conference games, which are huge for the smaller schools, which the bigger school pays for them. And so it's a scary area right now for all the Olympic sports, where Stanford wrestling just got cut. Stanford just cut 11 sports out of their 36 programs. So we've lost 2 Division I wrestling programs during COVID. And so I think a lot of us Olympic sports, golf, tennis, things like that, it's scary right now.
So now, one thing that's really important, obviously, to stay healthy is what you end up putting in your body. Now, Killcliff is partnered up with Sanford MMA, and obviously, look, Killcliff, the clean energy drink company, is the perfect sponsor for Sanford. What have you guys thought in terms of when you drink something, when you drink Killcliff specifically? Are you thinking to yourself, man, this is a healthy beverage, or are you thinking, wow, this is just a good drink, and I just drink it because it tastes awesome?
I like the way it tastes. Obviously it's healthy, but it gives you a little bolt of energy, and it tastes great though.
Yeah, I like the clean part of it. I drink caffeine. I'll drink caffeine in the morning. I'll drink caffeine to get going for the afternoon session. So I do drink a lot. And, if I drink a regular energy drink, I do get that jolt. I'm like, ooh, here we go. And then I feel like shit after. So the Killcliffs were, surprisingly very, very, very clean. I felt good after, throughout the whole day, and so that was my whole thing. And to be able to go into a training session, say like you're sparring or something, and you don't feel sick or anything like that, like I would get on other energy drinks.
Awesome. Listen, well, we had a couple major announcements at Killcliff. First of all, was a partnership with Sanford MMA, and also we signed up to join the Killcliff team, a mythological figure called the Castle Master, to the Killcliff team. And I wanted to play you guys. We made a little commercial to announce it, and I wanted to play the spot for you and just have you react on the other side of it, because this is pretty special.
The word of today. Strength and power.
Turn it up.
Soul Master. He holds all the keys. All of them. Which is why Hero Cliff, the Clean Energy Drink Company, is tickled that the Castle Master has joined our award-winning customer service team.
Hi, is the cast master there?
The cast master. Go ahead.
Brinkus, can you turn that up?
This is cast master. Go ahead. Oh, I'm great. How are you? My Everett Seattle's. No, not today, but I'll tell you what. You guys have any Kill Cliff? Do you have any Kill Cliff? What the hell is wrong with you? Awesome new flavors, awesome new cans, and an awesome new customer service representative. Kill Cliff. Always. Go to killcliff.com.
That's a pretty big announcement. I know, Ryan, you've been a big fan of the Castle Master for a very long time. As the purveyor of all knowledge, I know that you've looked to the Castle Master, even before fights. I know you've called him up and asked him some questions. What are your feelings about the Castle Master? Because a lot of people actually aren't familiar with him.
I usually watch his videos before fights. Right before I walk out there, I have a projector I bring into the room. And he just kind of gets me going, gets me feeling, right. I couldn't hear a thing he said on that video, but he looked badass and it got me pumped up.
Brinkus, the volume was down. We couldn't hear that video at all.
You couldn't?
No.
No.
It was like a Charlie Chaplin film.
Oh. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Robbie, you got the point, right? He's the purveyor of all knowledge.
We couldn't hear it.
As the Castle Master. I'll see if I can GW, you take over. I'll see if I can get it to play because it is an important video.
It is an important video. I got questions. I want to know about Fight Island, to be honest. This is obviously something that's been sprouted from the quarantine, looking to have a place to have fights where there's no rules, it sounds like. It's probably not similar to the island that Brinkus was going to on a regular basis before that hit the fan. But who can explain to me where Fight Island is, what exactly it is, and does everyone actually want to fight on there?
Obviously it's in Abu Dhabi. They can build and add stuff. I'm sure the UFC had a deal in place before this happened where they were going to end up doing fights there this year. So they put up obviously an island, built a nice little stadium, and I think a lot of people as fighters, they don't want to fly there.
It's far.
Really, because that's a long ways to go, get stuck there. But that's where you have to fight. That's where you have to fight.
Is that going to be like no fans watching, nobody in the stands still?
I'm not sure what it's going to be like.
Gotcha.
They definitely had a whole bunch of media at the weigh-in, so I wonder if they're their rules are a little different.
Gotcha. Well, this is the first. They're going to have the first fight there this weekend, so I guess we'll get to the bottom of everything and figure out what Fight Island actually is. Speaking of that card, UFC 251, I know that another one of you guys' teammates, Kamaru Usman, is fighting for the title. He was supposed to fight Gilbert Burns, who tested positive for COVID. And then late replacement, Jorge Masvidal. I guess you guys would be pretty biased, but how do you think this fight's going to go down with a late replacement with Masvidal? You think Usman's going to take this? I'm just looking for predictions and how it's going to happen.
I guess I'll go. I think Usman should take it. I think Masvidal's got a shot, like a kind of a puncher's chance, but it was a late replacement. He's probably going to be a little out of shape with Usman's style. It's kind of a more grinding style with takedowns and a heavy top game. I think he wears him down in the first few rounds, wears him down, and then eventually gets the finish most likely.
I saw him eating pizza on the plane over Masvidal, so I don't know if that's probably what my pre-fight meal would be, but I'm not sure if that's gonna slow him down or what. I think his nickname is probably one of the best in the biz. Street Jesus. I don't know if it gets much better than that.
Yeah, that's a great name.
It's amazing. What do you think, Bader? Who's got that fight?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think Usman's just going to be too much for him, but, Masvidal does have, momentum behind him right now. He's had a great year. But I do believe it's kind of that puncher's chance, in the first 2 rounds. I believe Usman's going to stay safe. He's been training hard with these guys, training in Colorado now and whatnot. And that top game, those takedowns are what's going to win that fight.
If Usman can learn anything from Ben Askren, it would probably be don't run straight at him right when the bell rings, I would imagine.
Don't fall for his feints, yeah.
Yeah. So there's 3 title fights on that UFC card. What are the other fights on the card that people aren't talking about that are going to be bangers, that should be fights that we should look out for?
I think the Holloway-Volkanovski fight is going to be a great fight from their rematch from the last one, which was a close fight. Holloway's been saying some weird stuff that, he's doing his training camp on Zoom. And and so he just had some interesting comments. But it'll be interesting to see if Volkanovski can continue to just roll through like he did and have another good game plan. And we'll see where Holloway's at. With learning from that last loss. It's an interesting stylistic matchup. And so, and it was a really close fight. So I'm excited for that fight.
When you say weird, can you elaborate on that?
Well, I was just seeing the media, and Volkanovski was talking about how Holloway was bringing up, how his training was a little different. He was doing stuff on Zoom. And so I don't know, he just said if it was to get in his head or what it was, but some interesting comments from him, before, the next fight is always the biggest fight of your life. So just some intriguing comments. So we'll see, I guess, how Max looks and what his training was like for this fight and kind of what their game plan is.
Yeah, I'm going to take Volkanovski on that one, and I'm going to take Usman as well. Put it on record right now.
Yeah, but I'm taking Volkanovski in that one too. I think he's a really clever striker, and I think he moves really well. I think Max Holloway's got to figure out a way to either catch him coming in, which he was trying to do the first fight, or try to push the pace and corner him and just kind of make it a brawl. But I see it being pretty much the same fight.
I think Holloway's going to take it personally. I think in the first fight, he got caught early with a lot of kicks, and I think it kind of threw him off. I think this fight, he knows he has to expect those kicks coming. He's probably going to start checking kicks. And Max is a very volume-based fighter. He doesn't have like crazy knockout power, but he's a very high volume guy. The first fight, he didn't throw volume until the 4th and 5th round, or until the later rounds when he started taking the rounds over. I think he realized that to win this fight, he's got to stay in his face. He's got to stay high volume. I think he's gonna pick up the volume. I think he's gonna check the kicks. I think he's gonna win a decision for sure.
Good deal. Any other fights on that card that are going to be bangers? I mean, anytime Aldo gets in the ring, I think this young guy's a pretty tough kid as well. That's something that I'm looking forward to. And then Rose back in the ring again, or the octagon. Looking forward to that fight. Are there any fights beyond this card that they've already announced that everyone's looking forward to? You guys as fighters, but also as fight fans?
Whenever Logan fights next.
Yeah,
What's
hopefully.
So whenever Logan fights next.
Yeah.
And
I think
when is that?
everyone's
In July?
pretty much working out for themselves right now, trying to stay healthy and try to get their fights in. It's almost like if you don't get there that week, it's like, okay, this fight's actually going on. So you don't actually know what's going to happen next week or the week after. So they can say whatever they want.
All right. So I wanted to jump back in here really quick because I think I got the Castle Master video ready because this is that important. It's that important to interrupt the show. So Herbert, roll it with audio. Make sure everybody can hear it because I messed it.
In the world of today, strength and power lies with the legendary overlord of all knowledge, the Castle Master. In the world of today, strength and power lies with the legendary overlord of all knowledge, the Castle Master. He holds all the keys, all of them, which is why Killcliff, the clean energy drink company, is tickled that the Castle Master has joined our award-winning customer service team.
Hi, is the Castle Master there?
Go for the cast mask. Oh. Hold on.
Okay.
Cast mask here. Go ahead.
Hello, man.
Yes, this is cast mask. Go ahead.
My name is Charlie Watson, sir. How are you today?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Are you looking for Viagra and the Cialis, sir?
Viagra and Cialis? No, not today, but I'll tell you what. Do you guys have any Killcliff?
Sorry?
Do you have any Killcliff?
No, sir. We only need this in the Viagra and the
Well, then what the hell do I want with you? Unbelievable.
Awesome new flavors, awesome new cans, and an awesome new customer service representative. Killcliff. Own it. Go to killcliff.com.
Wow.
That guy's a legit giant, like legit.
He's 6'8", almost 300, almost 3 bills. Robbie, listen, I know that Ryan has been following the Castle Master a long time. I know, Robbie, that he's a little bit new to you. But now that you know that the overlord of all knowledge is with Killcliff and Killcliff is partnered up with Stanford, how does that make you feel, knowing that the Castle Master has your back?
Makes me feel great. I mean, I want to find him and see what he knows and see if any of that good stuff rub off me.
That's right. Hey,
The customer service line, and he picks up now.
yeah, Logan. Logan? I mean, what are you feeling about the Castle Master? Because listen, the responsibility of having all knowledge is a big one, but with this partnership, I think that he can really help a lot of people.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start calling them for all our picks, every weekend. So, and on top of that, just having all knowledge, he can teach me how to beat the shit out of Bader. So, I mean, that's all I
Hasn't happened yet. It won't happen, buddy.
Look at that.
Oh, he just flexed on you, man.
Hey, he's a man.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm heavyweight right now, boy.
The reason why that's not
He's
possible.
peacocking on you.
he was just peacocking on you, and the biggest reason why probably that flexing was justified is this right here.
He tore his singlet there.
Yeah,
What do you want?
you never wear sleeves, really, with the risk of ripping them constantly. It's a real thing.
Hey, joining us right now, Herbert, you can take him full screen. We got Wes Johnson, who is the voice of Killcliff. Wes, I know you just voiced the Castle Master spot. How does it, I mean, the great honor of being able to read words associated with the Castle Master, how did it feel?
It feels great to be associated with Cast Mask and to get his message out to the world.
That's good. So that's really good. So guys, I wanted to actually wrap this up. And G-Dub had a little note that was on his wife's windshield. What did it say?
All right. So she went into Costco. You guys know what Costco is, right? So someone put a note on her car. It said, "Hey, I was driving past Costco and noticed you getting out of your car. You're fine. If you're interested in guys that use shake wakes, text me." right there on the thing. And she didn't have the time to tell her that obviously I'm a shake weight master. So she's already getting the treatment, if you will.
That poor guy's going to have to go through some shake weight motions on his own.
Call me when you use the tug toner religiously, and then you might get a shot. But if you're still in the shake weight, it's amateur, this bush league.
That's awesome. Well, Wes, you joined us just for the tail end of the show. I wanted you to look. Killcliff has the official partnership with Sanford MMA. I wanted you to give the appropriate Wes Johnson treatment for the partnership. Killcliff and Sanford MMA. Want to hear this?
Killcliff now ignites a partnership full of American winning with Sanford MMA.
Pretty good.
God, I need him around all the time.
I know. And does anybody have a special request for Wes? Because everything he says sounds good.
Announcing dinner, announcing.
Yeah. Wes, I'm gonna have Chick-fil-A tonight with some Haagen-Dazs ice cream for dessert. Can you give me that announcement?
Ripping into the Chick-fil-A and following it up with some sweet Haagen-Dazs John Brinket.
You guys see why I've known Wes for almost 30 years, probably, literally.
His nickname is Nuggets. So
exactly. All right, guys. Any parting thoughts for the show? We need to wrap this one up. We got Logan. Any parting thoughts?
No, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And we're glad to have you guys on the team, and it's an exciting time.
Awesome. We got Chaz. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do it. You had a whole, listen, how did it feel to temporarily have a whole country named after you? Did it go to your head? Did you fly there? Like, what happened?
Feels great. I'm actually the man behind the scenes over there making shit happen. So they went ahead and named it after me, spelled it with two Z's. Get it right.
Everyone in Seattle wants to be inside Chaz.
Sounds like a normal Friday night.
That's the weight you can shake, baby.
That's right. Hey, Robbie, any parting thoughts for us?
Now I'm excited to get back in the gym. Help Logan get ready for his fight. Hopefully, Bellator gets their stuff going so these guys can start fighting too.
Awesome. G-Dub, do you have any parting thoughts?
Just fun as usual. Can't wait to get back here next week, guys. I really appreciate you guys hopping on. It was a blast talking to Chaz and Logan. Great meeting you. And Logan, good luck trying to beat up Ryan Bader here in the near future. Chaz, you do have a poster of Robbie hanging over your bed, which is weird. I would have figured that you would be more a Bobby Boucher type of guy, given your line of work. But great meeting you guys, and thanks for hopping on.
So, Ryan, do you have any smack talk, anything that you want to like leave us with? Because
I just think that Killcliff needs their own branded shake weights. I'm kind of slacking on that program. I've just been hitting the fresh ground pepper, you know.
That's right. That's right. Ryan, you want to say anything? Listen, Logan was talking lots of smack, and he didn't want me to say anything, but I just want to tell you he doesn't respect you in any way. He thinks you're like that. This whole like you're like a legend and a great fighter. He's like, it's all a myth, fake news. That's all he kept saying. He kept saying stuff like that. And I was like, are you sure you want to say that to me? He said, just don't say anything. But you and I have a closer relationship. So I don't know if you want to say anything back. Silence?
He just threw you under the bus hard.
I think
Talking to me
literally.
here.
Is Ryan frozen?
Yeah. See that? See how scared he got already?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been talking to me this whole time?
He was like, you talking about me?
I spaced that one out. I spaced it out when you said Logan, because usually it's pretty boring. So
it was very boring. It was very boring stuff. All right. Well, listen, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to having you guys on. And we're going to be having our own show. We're going to be having an MMA show with Sanford MMA. So this is really just bringing us together and letting everybody know that we're going to be doing a lot of fun things together. So guys, listen, stay safe, stay COVID free. And thanks so much for being such great role models for everyone and getting out there and doing your job and entertaining and showing us what human beings are possible of. We're really thrilled about the relationship. Everybody, God bless. See you next week.
See you later. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Bill really blew by this week.